All right, everybody, welcome. My name is James. I'm the head of the Soundboard team. I'm going to put my name here in the Voxer chat if you need to Vox me with any questions, or you want to be added to my giant Soundboard announcement Voxer thread. Our purpose today is to walk through pretty much every feature of the Soundboard that's available, especially those of you who are either relatively new to Soundboard or got an email from me this spring or summer, or saw us at conference and said, hey, I have a Soundboard, but I haven't been using it well. So our goal here is to talk through all of that, get you on the right track. I'm not going to spend much time today talking about, the mechanics of Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. We really want to talk about Soundboard usage and best practices. So real quick to start off, I always say this at trainings, and it's totally true, and you need to hear it even if you've heard it before. We at Edge Theory, we work with a lot of different companies and a lot of different brands, and Juice Plus is far and away my favorite company to work with. My family and I are longtime Juice Plus consumers. I'm not a rep, but I really, really love your business, and I love what you all do. And what is so exciting to me as I've been working with Juice Plus reps and the home office on this program on the Soundboard for the last 2.5 years is how missionally minded you all are about health and about taking care of your customers. Your company culture is terrific. It does not overpromise things with your products, and your business model is wonderful. And you also do not overpromise with pictures of Lamborghinis and lake houses like some other unnamed direct sales companies do. So anyway, all that to say, your mission is coming through loud and clear with your company culture and the way that you all operate. We want that same mentality, that same missional mentality to come across on our social media channels, which is why we built the Soundboard. We want to provide that big picture, healthy living, missional minded content that is not overly branded. We don't want to be talking about the trio and the shakes all day. That does not draw people in. We're so inundated with product placement all the time that it's just it becomes one more thing that we want to try to tune out. But if we start keeping that social media presence active with that healthy living content, then we draw people in with curiosity. We start asking them about their health journey, and that's how you make those connections. Okay, so the link to remember, this is a shortener, so it gets long when you hit enter, but the link to remember is juiceplus.vip. We have some other ones floating around out there, including healthylivingsoundboard.com. They all work. They all get you to the same place here, but juiceplus.vip I think is the shortest and easiest to remember. There's no www. When you hit enter, of course, that's a redirect, so it's going to have this nice long thing that you don't need to remember. When you arrive here, if you want to take a moment, there are some really great things on the site. Particularly, there's some really great testimonials and quotes from some Soundboard users in the Juice Plus Nation that we've been working with for a long time. And so if you want to check those out, or maybe even show those to somebody that you're interested in introducing the Soundboard to, there's just a lot of great stuff here with ways that Soundboard has helped people grow their business. So keep that in mind. I'm not even going to walk through the pricing because y'all are, Stephanie says she can't hear. Stephanie, everything from my side is telling me that I've got good audio. Anybody else having sound issues? I guess if you are, it would be hard to say, wouldn't it? Let me chat this real quick. Don't ask me to sing a song. Okay, Somebody can hear me. Very good. All right, onward. Sorry if you can't hear me. Check your speakers. All right, so to sign in, we want to sign in here to the Soundboard. Remember, this is not an app. It's all web-based, even when you're on your mobile device. And when you sign in, you're going to get brought to this lovely list of content that we curate from all around the web. Oh man, that's a good complete shake. All right, so when you are looking at this content, remember the whole purpose is to help you zoom out from the brand. We want to help you talk around the brand. We want to help you talk about the healthy living conversation. This conversation came up over and over again when I was introducing this to people at conference. Is every article on the Soundboard Shred 10 compliant? Okay, the technical answer to that is no, it's not. Here's why. Everybody that you're trying to speak to is on a different place in their own health journey. Most of us in the world are very uncognizant of health issues, okay? We think healthy is if the box says whole grains on it, okay? And that's like, okay, that's healthy enough. I know I shouldn't eat McDonald's, I do, but I know I shouldn't, so I guess I'm trying to be healthy. The point is that you can't start with a hard line every single time with every person, okay? When I was at conference, standing at that booth for 4 days talking to people, I talked to a Juice Plus rep who said she was a practicing witch, okay? She was Wicca. And then I talked to people, Mennonite ladies, okay? Extremely conservative Christians who, once I said the word social media, they said nicely, no, thank you. They didn't even, know what we were doing. The point is, the Juice Plus Nation is made up of a vast array of people and perspectives. So too is your audience. So there is going to be content on the Soundboard that talks about protein from meat. There is also going to be content on the Soundboard that talks about vegan lifestyle. There is going to be content on the Soundboard that talks about the benefits of yoga. There is going to be content on the Soundboard that is all fitness-based that has nothing to do with yoga, okay? There is such a wide spectrum. And I want you to think about this from the perspective of your audience. If your audience's perception of healthy living is either fueled by the big food companies, which it probably is, or hysterical Netflix documentaries, then your whole point is to try to draw them out and to educate them over the long term, okay? So all that to say, there are articles in here that talk about dairy, that talk about the argument between the A1 and the A2 protein debate in dairy. There is stuff in here that has recipes, smoothie recipes that may mention low-fat milk. Please don't hit the roof over that because, again, you are trying to put a message out there that is trying to help people along on their journey and along on their path. Also, to my knowledge, people don't shred 10, 30 days a month. You shred for 10 days a month. So, okay, I'm off my high horse there. I'm off my soapbox. But I just want you to know all that so that you can understand how and why the team and I pick what we pick to put on this thing. So once you're here, we have all of these things. We have a lot of articles, we have a lot of videos, and we have a lot of images to pull from. When you find something that's interesting, like this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is an article that's opening up the debate that is going on in the larger world right now of a government decision for labeling organic farming. Is hydroponics organic, or does it have to come from dirt? And there's a big argument in this article about pro-dirt versus pro hydroponics, okay? This is a great way to introduce the tower garden topic to your audience while being relevant to a large conversation that's going on with organic food, while expressing your opinion about it, okay? So once you check this whole article out, and I tell you, there's some combative opinions in this article because it's two sides yelling at each other. What you have down here at the bottom of this article are some suggested things to go with it. If you want to use these, you can. Or if you want to throw in your 2 cents and then ask questions of your audience, please, by all means, do that. But once you find some suggested text that you're interested in using, if you want to use it, all you have to do is hit any of these buttons to put this article out on that social media platform, okay? This button right here is for your Facebook personal account only. That will go out to your personal wall. We're not going to get into it right now, but I highly recommend doing that versus a Facebook business page due to the nature of the way the Facebook algorithm works. But this button right here, if you do have a Facebook business page, this is what you're going to do. You're going to push this. This button lets you share to Facebook business pages, groups, directly onto somebody else's timeline. It's a little bit more versatile. Also, this button that you see that's so versatile, Facebook broke their version that works on mobile devices. So if you log onto the Soundboard on your iPhone or Android or iPad, this button just flat isn't there, and I'm sorry, and I know it stinks, but I can't do anything about it. Facebook Messenger, wonderful way to communicate one-on-one with people and show them something a little bit more personal. Shoot them an article. Hey, I saw this. I was thinking about you. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? Excellent customer touch resource. Of course, if you want to tweet it out, here you go. If you're putting business-minded content out there on LinkedIn, this is the button for that. You can email somebody directly this particular article, and if it's a graphic, you can put it on Pinterest. We'll come back to these two in a minute. So then all you have to do after you hit the share button, it's going to automatically copy this text. We're going to share it. If you want to paste in that suggested text, that is where you do it. And then you say, what do you think will come of this? Okay, ask your audience a question. Try to draw out some engagement. And then you can pick who you want to post it to. I recommend making articles like this public. Why not show up in more Facebook search? You can just share it to your friends. You can share it to specific people. I'm going to leave it set to only me because I do this all day, every day, and I wear my friends out. So you hit post, and then you're done. Boom. Great piece of content going out, okay? So keep in mind the whole point of having so much here is for you to have a lot to pick from. Of course, best practices on Facebook particularly would say don't share them more than 1 or 2 articles a day mixed in with your personal stuff. But it's all here. We have a magnifying glass, which is a search, of course. Any particular topic that interests you, you want to find something, it will scrape both the title as well as the text of the article. And so if you want something very specific, look for something very specific, okay? Whatever you're looking for, you're even going to find probably some pet health stuff in here. There you go, dog's life on the quinoa and kale diet. Who knew? We also have graphics here. I always tell folks, I label things image only. If it's a graphic, you can search for image only. Right now, the most recent images we've got are the mission-driven model graphics for November, which is the hashtag Project Thankful. This is about as brandy as you're going to find on the Soundboard, these particular graphics. There's another one for the Omegas floating around, but that is pretty branded. We also do put in, when Juice Plus puts out new YouTube videos and blog posts, okay, I try to put them here again for easy sharing for you. So there was a whole terrific series of Omega videos that came out during conferences. And so that's what you'll see here. Then we also have, their blog posts, as well as Tower Garden blog posts, which I believe only come out once or twice a month, but I always try to stay on top of those. Again, trying to make this the central place where it's easy for you to come, find relevant stuff, quickly and easily share it across whatever social platforms you're thinking about. Now, while we're in the spirit of thinking about sharing content, I'm going to go ahead and switch from my desktop view. I'm going to share my screen from my phone and show you a few tricks for the mobile side of things. I have to hit a few more buttons here for this to work. Okay. So when you are on your phone, keep in mind, you do not need to download an app to get to the soundboard. It is a web link. We're going to go to juiceplus.vip. I've already got it bookmarked. And we're going to hit sign in. Now, there's this great thing that you can do after you have arrived at your mobile version of this website. At the bottom there, the little box with the arrow coming out. Now, we're on iPhone. Of course, this looks different on Android. But you hit that little guy, and you have a number of things that you can do here. You see that one in the middle now, add to home screen. What that does is it turns the link to this particular website into a clickable link on your desktop that looks like an app, functions like an app, is not an app. So you hit add to home screen. The default name there is links-social media soundboard. When you hit add, you can see my bottom row of icons there. The middle one, the white one there, is the soundboard. So I just tap that anytime I want to quickly and easily access it. I know, Michelle, it would be helpful for me to show on Androids, but I don't have one to show you on, so I'm sorry. Basically, when you're on Android, you're probably going to be using the Chrome web browser. And if you look at the top up there where it says soundboard-app.edgetheory.com, and then you got the refresh, there's a menu bar to the right of that when you're on Chrome that looks like 3 dots. You click on that, and that's where your add to home screen button is on Android. Sorry, I can't show you. You're right. I know. I'm a snob. I fully accept that. I apologize. Okay, another cool thing about what you can do on your mobile device that does not work on desktop is you can text articles to people. So just like we talked about with Facebook Messenger as a great just, hey, saw this, was thinking about you. What do you think? Or, interesting little counterpoint here to what we were talking about after Zumba class the other day. But when you get to the bottom of the article, you'll notice that there is a button that's not there, the green one, text. And so when you click that, what it's going to do is it's actually going to bring up your texting app. So when you do this, you'll see it copies over the suggested wording as well as the link. I'm going to send this to my boss. He loves this. And when you send it, it makes this really nice rendered graphic there along with the article as well as the suggested text, okay? And then you can follow that up with, this is what we were talking about the other day, or, whatever personal message you got. Super easy. The other cool thing that we have built in that works really great on mobile is, I'm going to click on the icons at the top right, these 3 lines. And you'll notice in our menu drop down here, we'll revisit a lot of these in a few minutes back on desktop. But I'm going to click on topics here. And so I have some very specific topics broken out. We've got Shred 10. We've got Healthy Living Revolution, which is all the graphics from the Healthy Living Revolution website. Again, compiled for ease of your use. Got to have my complete. Then we have mission-driven model graphics. And then I also have a whole separate topic here, just as a side note, business and recruiting. These are articles that are small business minded, encouraging people on paths of entrepreneurship, et cetera, because of course you're not just trying to grow your customer base, you're trying to grow your team. So there's that business content there. But I want to show you the Shred 10 stuff. This is pretty cool. So what I did was, with Mitra's and Brian Rose's help, I took the Shred 10 system guide, which you may or may not be familiar with, from the Healthy Living Revolution site. And the system guide has a suggested script with wording, articles, and videos that you're supposed to send to people while they are shredding, to keep them encouraged and on track. So you can see I have it very straightforward broken down here. Day 1 morning, day 1 midday, day 1 evening, day 2 morning, day 2, blah, 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 blah. All right, it keeps going and going. But when it's appropriate, there is the accompanying video or graphic that goes with it. Okay, so for instance, this is the one you send them at lunchtime on day 3. It's got the video about how to eat out at a restaurant on the Shred 10 plan and stay shredding. All right. It also has the suggested wording and the emojis from the system guide, which again, you can use if you want to. You do not have to, but all you got to do is hit text. I'll send it to Bossman again. And now if you want to personalize this, change it up before it goes out, here's where you do that. All right. And then you just go. And so once again, the wording's there, the video's there, super easy. You can set up a texting group if you want to send it to several people at once, if you've got like a shredding group that y'all are all in it together kind of thing. So that's there. Very helpful. Super easy. Now the last thing I'll show you on mobile here that's unique to mobile is how to use these graphics. Okay, so again, we're going to search for image only. And when you're on your mobile device, of course, we want to be able to share to Instagram, but Instagram isn't working. Liz says my text feature isn't working. It's not bringing the article. Liz, what kind of device are you on? Before I can help, tell me what kind of, you got Android. Okay. The tricky thing about Android, and again, Michelle, I'm sorry, is that there are like 25 to 35 versions of the Android operating system floating around out there in the wild in phones that you can buy. With iPhone, there's like 2 versions, maybe 3 at any given time that people are using. So developers do their absolute best to make things function the best way possible on Android, but it's so unpredictable. All that to say, I would say try to update your phone and see if that might help things. If your phone is like super fast and new and sweet and updated, sorry, I don't have a quick answer, but I can do some homework on that. Kathy asks, can you blind copy group text? I do not believe that you can blind copy group text unless there's a separate app for that. Your typical iMessage or Android message does not let you BCC. Okay, so back to our graphics here. So to work around the Instagram limitation, okay, they don't want you sharing stuff from all over the web on Instagram. That's why there's no Instagram button. It doesn't exist. But to get around that, all we've got to do is save this photo. So I'm going to actually click on the photo here, which takes us to the actual photo where it's hosted as a file. And we're just going to tap and hold on it until this pops up. And then we do save image. And that will save this graphic to our camera roll. And then when you go to Instagram to create your post, it's sitting there and it's super easy to do, just like you would a photo. I'm not going to do that because my phone is old and Instagram makes my phone crash. So sorry about that, but you get the gist of it. Now that it's on your camera roll, it'll work the same. Okay. Pam says, when I texted to an Android, the pic image didn't appear, only if I sent it to an Apple device. Okay, yeah. Again, idiosyncrasies of what's really going on there with Android versus the Apple device. And I'm sorry, I don't have a quick answer for you on how to fix that. Welcome to the world of computer development and making things work for every platform that's out there. All right, so back to the desktop version. Sorry, got to drink it while it's cold. Let's go up here again to our menu, and let's walk through a couple of these other things that are up here. Submit an article feature. A lot of people have been using this because there are certain topics that people care about that my team and I don't necessarily know to go look for. If there's an article that you would like to see on the soundboard, it's pretty easy to drop it in here and we'll check it out. Now, since conference, I have been getting a lot of article submissions that have been absolutely terrific articles, but the link comes from somebody's personal website, and some of y'all's websites look amazing, by the way, and you write really great blog content, which is awesome. But on that same website, if you scroll up from the article at the top, is a big old link to your personal store. So you know, Balthazar, whatever your name is. Sorry, I picked a weird name because if I picked Judy Smith, then Judy would actually be a real person and be offended. So if I'm linking an article on the soundboard to your blog, that also has a link to your Juice Plus store, do you understand I cannot post that on the soundboard because I cannot send unique or other people's audiences to your unique Juice Plus store. Okay, I'm sorry. I know your content's awesome, but I can't do that. So yes, you're welcome. So that's the submit an article feature. But again, I've also learned a lot about oxidative stress and how much heavy metal are on airplanes and all kinds of very interesting stuff that I would love to have, that kind of stuff shared here. So that, again, that's the submit an article feature. No guarantees it'll show up on the soundboard, but if it is from a good third-party source, then we will be happy to do that. I'm going to skip newsletters for right this minute and show you a few other things. The settings here, just to point this out, if you signed up for the soundboard at conference and we talked about it and you said, hey, I want the package that allows you to tweet for me, but you still haven't set up a Twitter account. Okay, you probably have gotten an email from me about that already, how to set up a Twitter account and how to join it to the soundboard. But once you create a Twitter account, there's going to be a big button right here that says add Twitter handle. You have to come here, click that, and it will hook in your soundboard account to your Twitter handle, and that will let me start tweeting for you. So there's still a number of folks who sign up for soundboard at the conference who haven't done that. So please do that there. So we can start tweeting for you. Yes, Kathy, that's right. I was just saying, when people submit an article here and they submit their own blog post, which also has a link to their Juice Plus site, then I cannot turn that around and publish that on the soundboard. It's not fair to everybody else. Okay, the Help Center. Also, please check this out. If you ever have questions about the soundboard, it'll launch in a separate tab. This is our knowledge base. If you chat here, you're probably going to get me or Marion or David or Harper or somebody else on the team. But there's a lot of video walkthroughs on how to do stuff here. In fact, I'm going to point this one out in particular, the email builder. I'm going to give you a quick overview of that today. I'm not going to go through every single step of that. But these videos right here are particularly helpful in helping you get your contacts out of Virtual Office or wherever they are and into our system so you can email people that email newsletter. So just be aware of that. So that's there. Okay, so let's talk about the newsletters for a moment, because we designed the newsletter feature to be a simple version of like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact. Okay, we're working on making it more robust. We are working on more features as we speak. So Sue asks, I heard no one reads email. Well, I mean, you know, that's kind of a sweeping statement, but there are, let me just put a pin in that, because I want to talk a little bit about what other reps have done with the newsletter to make it successful for them, okay? So with your contact lists, what you can do is, you can do this in a couple of ways. You can group your contacts into various lists, okay? And these are some demo lists that I've set up based on topic. Now, some folks have said that they want to send out different newsletters based on different interests and topics. If you have the time, knock yourself out. But you can see why I've kind of set up these contact lists like that. With different topical titles. Or you can throw all your contacts into one bucket and just send the same thing to everybody, whatever you want to do. The current cap is 5,000 email addresses. I hope that's not a problem. So anyway, once you add a list, you name it what you want. And you can add a description here if you want. But then when you create the list, there's two ways to get contacts into it. You add them one by one, which is terrible, or you can import them in mass, which is easy-ish. So then when you hit this button here, it's going to look on your computer for a CSV file. A CSV file is simply the most broken down, easy to use version of a spreadsheet. So if you use Microsoft Excel, Google Docs, any of those things, you can save a document as a CSV instead of an XLS file or anything, you know, that Excel would normally want to do. And that will easily be updated or uploaded to our system. But if you have trouble with that, you know, check that video out in the Help Center and then inbox me and I can help. Once you have done that, you can come to the newsletters section. The point of this, again, is to be simple. More features are coming. We're going for ease of use at the moment. So we set up a bunch of drafts for display purposes when we were demoing this for people at conference. But what you've got here are a couple of different things that you can customize, okay? You can pick who you want to send it to. Okay, so there's all our lists. Who do you want it to come from? What email address do you want it to come from so it doesn't hit somebody's spam folder? What do you want the title to be? You can customize a logo at the top, a graphic, make it look nice. Then you've got two fields of text here. So you got a body of text above the articles where you can customize that text, and a body of text below the articles where you can customize that. Then you can just come through here and drag and drop, add and remove stuff to your newsletter based on what you want. Okay, so now everything that's in this column over here is going to be on our newsletter. And so when we hit add, oops, wrong thing. We need to hit preview and send here. When we hit preview and send, then you've got this one. We did not actually end up dropping a graphic in, but your graphic would appear nice and big at the top. You know, here's your title, here's the suggested text. And then we've got a couple of different layouts for these graphics. So there's one that it's going to be nice and big at the top, and then it does a left, right, left with a little bit of a preview of the articles, and then the leftover ones are these text-based articles, or just a text title, excuse me. So that's one layout. We've got another layout that does 2 columns. So again, the first one will be big, and then it does some side-by-side stuff. And then if you had put some text in the field at the bottom, it'd be there. And then you've got one that will not really work for this many articles because it's also big. So that might be a little intimidating to somebody to just keep scrolling and scrolling. But if you did 2 to 3 articles, that would be a good format. So then you just hit, you've got a tester here. You can send it to yourself, and then you hit send, and it'll take care of it. Once it goes out, it will maintain some metrics for you. So let me show you an example of that. So this is one that I sent to a slice of Soundboard users a while back. So you can see how many you sent, what's your open rate, what's your click-through rate. Okay, now to somebody's point earlier, just nobody read emails. Well, 27% of 1,300 people is pretty dang good. This means, did they actually click and read the article? That's less important to me, but you're going to get a pretty decent open rate. Is it going to be 100%? No, of course not. Is it going to be 75%? Probably not. Do people read what other real people send them? Yes, they do. So here's the text that I customized, and then some articles there to send to people. So is email dead? No. Is email the #1 communication tool for people? For me, it actually is. I have it curated. I don't let spam pile up. I'm not the 10,492 emails in my inbox kind of person. There are those kind of people out there. But the success tips I've heard for the newsletter are, I have seen people post into their customer Facebook group, hey, would you like to receive a monthly email newsletter with some more healthy living news? Opt in. And they'll have 20, 80, 60 people, however many opt in. They know that's coming. They'll look for it. They'll read it. Okay, that's who you're going for. That customer touch. I've had people say, I'm a Juice Plus rep, but I also plan 4K, 5Ks, and marathons and half marathons in my part of the state. And I have an email list of 8,000 people. And I love using this as another way to touch them. So you just can decide, if it's something you want to deal with or not. It is sitting there. If you signed up for Soundboard a while back, we just gave it to you as an add-on feature. Only the most basic Soundboard plan now does not include it. So most of you have this feature sitting there if you want to use it. And again, we tried to make it simplistic. So would 43,528 emails freak me out? Yes, it would. It gives me heart palpitations, Kathy. I must admit. I'm an inbox 0 kind of guy. Okay, so I have talked fast and I've talked more than I thought I would. Does anybody have any questions about Soundboard functionality? While I pound the last of my complete shake. Okay, one more thing I want to throw out here that is super, super, super helpful. And that is, how do you schedule posts out ahead of time? Oh, Sue asks, can a video be added to the newsletter? So right now, the only things that can be added to the newsletter are Soundboard articles to make it nice and big and like render in the email as an HTML. We're working on customizing that more. Of course, you can drop a link to something else in the customizable text section of the email, but it will not blow up and make that nice like graphical interface to that video right now. But again, we're working on more features. Mimi, you can use an existing list and you can just import it to the soundboard as is. So if you have like a customer list, or if you use Constant Contact or something like that, you can do it like that. I hope that's answering your question. Tom asks, what about the Twitter error message when I attempt to share an article with a hashtag? Tom, I will have to do a little bit more homework on that. You shouldn't. Is the hashtag in the suggested text or in the article itself? Pam asks, in the newsletter metrics, can you see who opened it or who clicked it? No, you cannot see the who's. I will ask my dev guys if our server even gets that information. I would be surprised if it does. Okay, Sue asks, the videos that we have on Soundboard. Yes, anything that's on Soundboard, videos or articles can be added to the newsletters. Julie asks, what countries is this available in? This is available in any country that people care about getting English language content. So I've got people in Canada, UK, Holland, Germany, UAE, New Zealand, using it right now. That's all I can think of at the moment. Karen asks, can you schedule a post with a graphic for Facebook with Soundboard? Okay, here's the scheduler. I did want to bring this up real quick. If you're not familiar with Buffer, Buffer is a free website. Buffer is, I'm trying to fix something. What Buffer does is it lets you plug in your social media profiles. So my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram are all plugged in here. Buffer handles the scheduling. So this is a free thing. You plug in your channels. Then when you come here to Soundboard and you click on the article, the Buffer button is here. That will bring up the Buffer scheduler. You tell it when to go out. Now, Karen, with the graphics, I have had some people, I cannot isolate why it does it sometimes and sometimes not. I have had some people say when they try to schedule a graphic that it comes through as a weird link, okay? If it does that, when you hit the Buffer button here, then all you have to do is download the image, save the image from the Soundboard, and then I highly recommend, if you're a Buffer user, installing the Buffer share widget into your browser, and that lets you share anything from all around the web on Buffer, not just Soundboard stuff, and then you can put that image up into Buffer directly as a file versus trying to route it from the Soundboard as a linked graphic. I hope that makes sense. Kathy asks, are we able to customize share events that we are hosting? You're talking about on Facebook? I don't quite understand that one. Okay, so Mimi, yes, you use a list from your contacts and you will upload it as a CSV file into Soundboard, and it should take it all. Okay, Tom, I'm going to have to do a little more homework on that. That's a new one. Why a hashtag? I mean, Twitter loves hashtags. So, okay, can you go over posting articles and verbiage across multiple platforms using Buffer from an iPhone? A lot of times the verbiage is too long to post on Buffer. Okay, so if you find an article you want to share and you've got your Twitter handle hooked into Buffer and the suggested text is too long. Let's see if it does it on this one. If it's too long for Twitter, keep in mind, Facebook doesn't care how long it is, LinkedIn doesn't care how long it is. But if it's too long for Twitter, well, that one wasn't a good example. If it's got more stuff in here, what it's going to show you is this is how many characters too long for Twitter it is. So I would work on shortening it. People are used to tweets being written in abbreviations. So just take a few words out that are not essential, and make it work. Or just turn Twitter off on that one. I'm constantly pruning and paring stuff down for Twitter to make it fit there. So that's the simplest thing, I think. Okay, yes, Buff Karen, go to buffer.com. Kathy says, if we are hosting a salad in a jar event in our home, is there a way to add that to our newsletter? So you can drop in, like, I'm having a salad in a jar party at X date. Here's my address. And if you've got a Facebook event scheduled for that, then you can drop that link into the newsletter. But again, it's not going to blow it up nice and pretty. It'll just be a link in there at the moment. Again, we're working on more features. Okay, Kathy says, Twitter's still showing the Juice Plus link. Yes, so Kathy, we're working, we have been working on it since we got home, but we're working on more graphics for Twitter to cover up that slightly unattractive link that the Juice Plus website shows off. So working on it, promise. All right. Anybody else have questions? Cool, Sue. Glad you like your water bottle. I hope it does as advertised and keeps your drinks very cold or warm based on how cold or warm you want them to be. Okay, Janet asks, you've heard that Facebook is phasing out traffic to pages, groups, etc. that contain links to YouTube videos or third-party websites. How do we direct load this from Facebook? Okay, Janet, you are so right in that Facebook is punishing business pages for existing on their platform. I don't really know why, other than they figured out how to monetize it. So if you put content out on a business page, whatever it is, if it's an article, if it's a video, if it's an event post, if it's you talking about your business, very, very few people are going to see that unless you pay to have it boosted. So we're just in a strange season of Facebook marketing where if you want to be found at all, you have to pay up, which is, you know, of course, not good for a small business owner. So I would say, truthfully, I wouldn't waste too much time on the Facebook business page right now. And, you know, if you had a nice one and it was thriving in the past and you got a bunch of likes, then it's okay to keep some content going out. But just, you're right, it's not going to get seen. So sorry, that's not good news. But the issue is not Buffer. The issue is the business page itself. Karen asks, when will the next promotion be for Soundboard? Ho, ho, ho. Santa can't tell. It's coming. It's going to be a good one. Keep your ears to the ground for your team. We did have such an overwhelming positive reaction to the conference one that, I don't know if y'all noticed, we extended it through, I guess, Tuesday. I guess through the end of the month. That was intentionally, originally intended to just be conference weekend, but it went crazy, so we kept it up for all the people back at home who didn't make it to conference. So if you use your personal page for business, you can get in Facebook jail. But if you're just posting good, healthy living articles, you're never going to get put in Facebook jail. If you used Facebook to share the juiceplus.com link 20 times a day, you would probably get put in Facebook jail. Sharing 1 to 2 healthy living articles a day, or even 4 to 5 a week, you will never ever get put in Facebook jail, especially if you're also active on the platform and you're using it and you're talking to people and you're communicating and you're commenting on other people's posts. I would not worry about that at all. Okay. Thanks for joining. Oh, here's what I was going to tell you. So youtube.com/healthy living soundboard. Check that out. That's where this recording will show up. And it will also show up at, of course, facebook.com/healthy living soundboard. How many of these things do I have? I have a lot of these. So facebook.com/healthy living soundboard. I'll put put it there, and I'll put it in my Voxer group. Again, on Voxer, I am James Ketchum 750. Feel free to share this far and wide. I hope you have a great day. If you care about baseball, which I don't, but I hope it was exciting for you. I hope that your November is filled with orange leaves and crisp days and turkeys or tofurkeys, depending on your viewpoint. I hope that you get to actually watch some football. I'll stop. Okay. I'm tapping out. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for putting up with my ridiculous sense of humor. Y'all are the best. I'm out.